You haven't learned yet? Stay out of the water. This video is what the camera captured in the river shocked the world. Let's go.
Investigators are learning more about a pair of human legs that were found in the Susquehanna River in Williamsport.
In a disturbing discovery, Mexican authorities have found 45 bags containing human body parts.
Our team went knee-deep into the waters of remote Brazil to chase these massive snakes, aided by one man who's made of this nice work.
We looked into the water and saw a mysterious serpent-like creature. It's nothing I've ever seen before, on land or in sea.
Many were left shocked when a strange creature turned up in the Parana River. The small, lifeless body was wiggling around in the water and had turned completely pale, which indicated the onset of the decomposing process. Its pictures went viral, giving rise to numerous speculations. A lot of people believed it to be the carcass of an alien who passed away during its visit to the Earth. But nothing related to this claim was confirmed, leaving the entity a mystery. Dark aquatic mystery. The swimming trip of these guys turned dreadful when a dark, lurking creature made an appearance. The black entity swam with ease like a snake, but its lack of a face didn't look like any known reptile. One of the guys threw a net and got it trapped, but as soon as they moved to inspect, it scared them away. He tried to pull the anomaly to the shore, but it was stronger, and they eventually left it alone. They asserted it was a ghost, but no one was able to confirm its identity. Ventriloquist doll. In 2020, Mexican villagers were spooked when they found something strange in the water. Thinking it was a human carcass, they pulled it ashore, but it turned out to be a human-sized ventriloquist doll. The large doll was found wrapped in a black blanket and had scary claw-like hands. One of the men examined it. It looked like it just jumped out of the horror movie The Nun. The unexpected visitor left everyone in the audience stumped as to how it had ended up there. Not knowing its origin, they then decided it was cursed and should be burned. Splashing mystery. The calm waters of rivers might be home to a lot of different creatures secretly living in the depths. However, back in 2017, a man in Florida managed to record them on camera. He was bailing water out of his boat, but strangely, every time the water from the bucket hit the river, a sudden disruption broke throughout. Curiosity sparked, and he gave it another try, just to investigate what the creature was. Yet, even after several attempts to bring the splashing mystery out, no one is still sure what that was.
It's big.
Floating mannequins.
About 12 arms, 6 torsos, and 8 legs are somewhere down the river.
A few months back, a very spine-chilling scene was captured in Elk River, when a bunch of body parts were seen floating away. About 12 arms, 6 torsos, and 8 legs were seen in the river.
That's gotta be one of the weirdest things you can come across in a river, man. Like, that's just creepy beyond belief.
Local investigation, they found that presumed human body parts were actually mannequins.
All the body parts belonged, which were dragged to the water because of heavy rain.
They were the Halloween decorations a woman put up, but unfortunately they ended up in the water when the lake overflowed due to heavy rain, creating chaos among citizens.
Came out here and the only thing we could see was the 13-foot ghoul with his hand sticking out.
Marine dinosaur.
Hundreds of years, visitors to Scotland, they have seen a monster coming up from the depths.
A massive unidentified sea creature was spotted off the coast of North Carolina. Swimming swiftly with a significantly long, slender body, and parts of its tail visible, due to which the videographer claimed it was a dinosaur. But people debunked his claim, as the giant dinosaur became extinct long ago.
And all of a sudden their imagination starts getting bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden it's the Loch Ness Monster!
So, could this be some other massive aquatic being? Or a Loch Ness Monster was trying to make it appear in headlines? Let us know your thoughts. Creepy sculpture.
People in the city of Bilbao recently woke up to a disturbing sight.
In 2021, residents of Bilbao City woke up to a disturbing sight, where a huge sculpture of a young girl, eyes wide open, appeared to be drowning in the river Navarian. It got a lot of attention, with onlookers stopping to capture the unusual scene.
As the tides of the river rise and fall, more or less of its haunting face is revealed.
That's freaky.
You might be thinking, who put it there? It was placed in the river the previous night by a Mexican artist and was meant to provoke conversations about sustainability and climate change. A great way to bring attention to a global crisis, in my opinion. Let us know what you think about this display.
He wants people to consider how, quote, their actions can sink us or keep us afloat.
Alaskan monster.
Object, I remember thinking how strange and kind of spooky it was.
A man in Alaska was taken aback when he witnessed an unordinary entity moving around in the water. It was much larger than anything he'd seen in the river. The unknown creature was rolling back and forth in the murky water. Due to it being underwater, it was unidentifiable. However, it was believed to be an appearance of the Loch Ness Monster in the Alaskan River, but nothing about its identity was confirmed. Voodoo doll.
Hopefully it's supposed to be an angel.
It's bound together.
Yeah.
This group of divers found something strange while exploring the American River. Something was wrapped up in the net, and when the man took it out, it looked like the structure of a doll. The man believed it was a voodoo doll, the figure used in witchcraft.
Hopefully it's supposed to be an angel.
It's bound together.
Yeah.
He took the bizarre doll with him and displayed it with his other finds. It was made out of wires and covered with some mesh fabric. Witchcraft doll or not, the discovery was overly creepy.
They actually put like hair and roses, bra type thing.
Cave monkey. These visitors came across something very unusual on their swimming trip. Some strange creatures sitting on a stone near a water cave baffled them, to say the least. With their bodies covered with long blonde hair, some of those weird-looking fellows were trying to approach the visitors' boat. This video, too, like others, remained a mystery until someone revealed it. Despite the almost alien-like appearance, the monkeys were performing as actors, and the video was actually a show piece of art. Worcester's mystery. This morning's lake visit didn't go as expected when the onlookers witnessed a very peculiar scene. The water suddenly disrupted like someone was splashing it upward. It remained like that for some time, then appeared again in another position. It seemed as if some strange underwater creature was trying to make an appearance. Not only did it gain the audience's attention, it also raised many questions about its identity. Many speculated it was the renowned Loch Ness Monster, while others thought of it just as some random marine animal who came to the surface. Still, no one confirmed its identity. Slithery jump scare. Jump scare alert! I suggest you sit down for this.
Play stupid games. I've always heard you win stupid prizes. And he almost won the stupid prize.
Standing near a swamp littered with mud and leaves, this man appeared to be poking at something with a stick. When suddenly a huge anaconda jumped out of the water with its mouth gaping open, ready to attack. Luckily, he was fast enough to slip back out of its reach. The snake was probably camouflaged with its murky surroundings. He just showed how sometimes ignorance really is bliss.
stupid
mystery.
is what that was. Very
Iceland
stupid.
has a giant worm monster.
Like Scotland has the Loch Ness Monster, it seems Iceland also has one. Almost a decade back, a guy marked history after he managed to capture a massive and long figure slithering through the cold waters of Iceland. Theories began when the video of this aquatic entity circulated, and many claimed it could be a newly discovered species of a giant worm. However, the way it wriggled through the water suggested it could be the alleged Loch Ness.
A living creature have to have something to eat.
Many residents didn't believe in the existence of any such creature, but its origin remained unidentified, as it hasn't been sighted again. Enormous serpent. Lake
With
monster.
Yeah.
The Loch Ness Monster, Turkish style.
Authorities and residents of a Turkish town were overwhelmed when a strange creature appeared in Lake Van. The head of an alleged lake monster was seen in the rather calm lake. It swam swiftly among the waves and was estimated to be about 15 meters long. The footage raised many questions about its identity. Many people said it was fake, while researchers and international marine biologists wanted to launch an operation in search of the lake monster. But the creature remains a mystery to this day.
Stowe is apparently considering an examination of East Turkish Lake.
Aquatic frenzy. Have a look at this man who was ambushed by a bunch of strange creatures while kayaking. The unknown being approached his boat through the muddy waters, leaving him no option but to strike him with his paddle. As soon as he did so, he discovered that a lot more of those creatures were around him. Later, it was revealed that these creatures were manatees, whose defense mechanism is to splash water around when alarmed by danger. Megalodon tooth.
Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What?
Strange stuff turning up on the river surface is very common, but finding something prehistoric is truly exceptional. This man made an extraordinary discovery when he put some sand through a sieve. There he found a triangular-shaped object, among other things, and claimed it was the tooth of a megalodon shark.
Whoa! That's huge.
Whoa! A mythical marine animal that is believed to have been extinct long ago. If the man was to be believed, the discovery could provide great insights into the creature.
What? Dude! Whoa!
Terrifying encounter. While on a kayaking trip somewhere in Brunei, this man was able to capture something really strange. An unknown figure was swimming in the water near the adventurer. It looked like an alligator, but couldn't be confirmed, as its body was completely underwater, with just a part of its head visible. Trying to get a better look, the man dived into the water and ended up right in front of the creature, just to lock the moments of that terrifying encounter. Marine dinosaur.
I don't get it.
Hundreds of years, visitors to Scotland, they have seen a monster coming up from the depths.
A massive unidentified sea creature was spotted off the coast of North Carolina, swimming swiftly with a significantly long, slender body and parts of its tail visible, due to which the videographer claimed it was a dinosaur.
I'm still mad about that last clip. Like, the one time where you don't need to be clumsy and fall in the water, you decide to be clumsy and fall in the water. The one time you don't need to be, bro. I don't understand it. Anyway, back to it though.
But people debunked his claim, as the giant dinosaur became extinct long ago.
And all of a sudden their imagination starts getting bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden it's the Loch Ness Monster!
So, could this be some other massive aquatic being? Or a Loch Ness Monster was trying to make it appear in headlines? Let us know your thoughts. Snake carcass. This kayaker's trip was struck with a strange turn of events when he encountered a jump scare of sorts. As his canoe moved, a huge anaconda caught in a trap emerged out of nowhere and scared him. Its motionless body indicated that it had passed away long ago. The man pulled the thick serpent onto the boat, freed the trap, examined its size, and then eventually tossed it back in the water and continued its journey. But how this sneaky reptile ended up in the trap remained an unsettled question. Exploding creature. A group of Japanese...
I still don't know what this thing is. And I've seen it several times on several different videos, and we still don't know, or I don't know what this thing is.
These guys fishing spotted some strange looking creatures clinging to the rocks and suddenly scattered. However, they did manage to find one alone. With an opening at the center and tiny holes surrounding the body, the pink circular creature was completely unknown. One of the guys poured some soda into it, and before we could further investigate, the bizarre object squirted some white fluid and exploded, covering the camera with fluid too, leaving viewers still searching for its identification. Ominous fish. Visitors at the Chilean port were in for a rather enormous surprise when a crane was called to reel in a large sea creature. Crowds started to gather when they lifted out the gigantic oarfish. They hooked at the 16-foot-long fish and transferred it from the boat onto land.
I ain't never seen one that big.
Rather than getting excited, the people were terrified, as different myths have been associated with this creature in Japanese folklore, and it is considered a bad omen. Eccentric fishing. Fish flying all around waiting to be caught. This incredible scene was captured during a trawling venture somewhere in Arab, and looks straight out of a fisherman's dream. The excited anglers just put their nets in the water and waited for the fish to gather. This was actually a special technique that helped the men to catch more fish at one time. And here, this group of excited anglers was enjoying the fishing day. Ghostly gator. This eerie clip caught the attention of netizens as it shows an alligator head swimming on the water's surface, heading quickly toward the guy busy fishing without having an idea of the approaching danger. The gator was missing not just one of the limbs or a tail, but its whole body. The clip looks suspiciously unnatural as to how an alligator head is moving without a body, but in the end, someone revealed it was a robotic toy. Clingy fish.
Look at that, chat. Look at that, guys. Look at that.
These guys found a very odd fish with strange patterns on its head. It remained a mystery until one of them decided to do this.
Look at that, guys. Look at that.
Just like a gluey object, the peculiar trawl attached itself to the boy's cheek, looking like a newly discovered
He gonna wake up tomorrow on that side, that one little spot on his face gonna be rotted out.
Species. This was actually a Ramara fish. It had a special organ under its head that helps this being to cling to the other fish. Fortunately, the adventurer remained safe during this experiment, enjoying the fish hanging to his face.
Look at that. He's just chilling on your cheek. How creepy is that? What?
Fish parasite.
Ini membuat pihak Balai Karantina Ikan Pengendalian Mutu dan Keamanan Hasil Perikanan (BK).
Earlier this year, an investigation was launched to find out the reason for declining the fish population in an Indonesian river. During the search, the authorities found some things strange inside the fish's body.
Muara Sipongi, Mandailing Natal, Sumatera Utara.
Some weird and white, tiny, creepy organisms. These are actually parasites that live inside the fish's stomach and weaken their host by consuming their nutrients or damaging their tissues. And this infestation of parasites was the reason for the reduction in fish numbers.
Kutu kura-kura memang binatang parasit yang biasa hidup di tubuh ikan.
Giant anaconda.
Ooh.
A few months back in Brazil, a group of villagers was shocked to find a massive reptile crawling out of a river.
My heart would drop.
Although Brazil is famous for anaconda sightings, this one was considered to be among the largest snakes ever seen. Fortunately, it didn't cause harm to anyone and fearlessly slithered across the ground, making its way toward the river. Mermaid. A couple of tourists were amazed to catch sight of a huge fish swimming in the river. Suddenly, their amazement turned into a shock after realizing it was not a simple trawl. It appeared to have the upper body of a human with a forked tail instead of legs. The creature, after realizing being noticed, quickly vanished from sight. But the rare sight was locked and shared online with several people, congratulating those guys for having captured a mermaid, while few claimed it could be some new species of aquatic life. Massive sturgeon.
It's huge. Double briefcase, double briefcase. Hard as you can.
On a fishing expedition, these guys' day were made when something huge took the bait. Everyone gathered around to see the catch.
Look at the pole bend.
But as they struggled to pull it into the boat, one of the guys got into the water and discovered that they'd caught a gigantic sturgeon.
Keep going, straight back to the beach.
The man caught it by its mouth. It was estimated to be about 600 pounds and 10 feet long. They examined their remarkable catch and proudly showed it off to the camera. Not wanting to keep it, they let the fish go back to its habitat.
Look at that. Exactly. The release I wanted.
Lost millipedes. In 2021, the citizens of Malaysia were appalled when strange creatures appeared in the river. With their thin bodies swimming on the water's surface, they appeared super mysterious. Many believed they were snakes, but no one was able to tell their species specifically. When the debate went on the internet, someone suggested they were just some giant millipedes who might have been lost and accidentally found their way into the river. Bubbling anomaly.
I don't know what this is.
Something extremely bizarre was captured at Norman Lake by a man who witnessed something unknown trying to make an appearance.
And there's something just bubbling up from the bottom of the lake.
With water all around the lake started bubbling at different spots and created huge impacts around. It calmed down for a moment and then started again. Strangely, the mystifying disturbance stayed for more than 10 minutes and nothing emerged from the water.
Right over there's Duke Power.
The video went viral with several netizens suggesting different titles for the unknown entity. However, no one is sure what exactly that bubbling was.
Don't smell anything, any kind of gas or anything like that.
Nessie spotted. Almost a decade back in Scotland, an unknown creature emerged from a loch and created panic among the villagers. With only a small portion of its long neck emerging from the water's surface, the mysterious life form was providing a free ride to the Seagull. Since Scotland is famous for sightings of the Loch Ness Monster, many folks insisted it was the same creature that had been living there for decades. It has been sighted several times, but never officially confirmed.
Okay, then what is that then? If it ain't Nessie or whatever they call her, what is that? It's nothing I can see or identify. And we've looked at tons of footage of different things in the water. What is that then?
Warsaw Grouper.
Guys, we just caught this massive Warsaw Grouper.
Simple fishing trips sometimes turn into the most incredible stories. Look at what this angler caught, a massive Warsaw Grouper, which weighed around 300 pounds. The man proudly flaunted the fish.
Oh my gosh, how much do you think this thing weighs?
Another group of fishermen caught a huge fish. They struggled to pull it into the boat, and they found it was the giant Warsaw Grouper. They were the second largest in the grouper family, coming in behind the Goliath Grouper. clever fish. Take a look at this bizarre clip that left people shocked. These guys collecting the fishing net filled with fish were surprised when a clever one took the chance and made a run for its life. As they moved ahead, another one swiftly jumped away at an exceptional speed.
Yo,
Guess they were just sick of being stuck in the net. Here's another clip of a similar incident where fish trapped in the net started to jump while the men were collecting the fish-filled nets. However, these fish, being small, weren't able to escape as the previous ones. But they did give their freedom a try. One-eyed fish. During a fishing trip, this man caught this odd fish and shared this stranger online to show his incredible journey. The pink-colored creature had one large bulging eye on one side, but as the camera pans around, it revealed that the second eye is missing. The fish's mouth was agape in the clip, and it's still not clear how the eye came to be missing. Fish revival. Water is essential for fish's survival, just like air is essential for our survival. This man caught a fish and realized a bit late that he didn't want to keep it. Being out of water for so long, the little swimmer seemed to have passed away. When finally released into the water, the fish looked like it would sink, but miraculously it jerked and dashed away to save its life from the man. Missing eye.
Boy, this one's missing an eye.
Don't eat that.
Look at that.
This angler got hold of a very strange fish. When he reeled in his catch, he noticed something very unusual about the fish. Looking closely, he found that the bass he caught was missing one of its eyes.
This one's missing an eye. Look at that.
Don't
Crazy.
eat that.
It didn't look like it was bitten out by other fish due to the absence of an ant scar. It might have been caused by a mutation, but the catch was odd nonetheless.
He's a one-eyed Willie.
Put it back.
He's still got that eye at least.
Gator versus python.
Or a 6-foot alligator and an enormous snake that finally appeared in the murky water.
A man, while strolling along a pond, heard some splashes of water and went to investigate. Thinking of a huge fish, what instead he saw was beyond his imagination.
Yeah.
He was in the front row of an alligator and a python's fight of the fittest. The alligator tried to hit the snake on the head with its tail but failed. The gator seemed to be losing the wrestling match. Unfortunately, the end of the fight was not recorded. But this clip sure provided us with a scene that can't be seen every day. Puzzling creature.
Nothing I've ever seen before, on land or in sea.
It appears that anywhere around the world, if there's a lake, they make up their version of the Loch Ness Monster.
Their
biggest fish. These men just caught what might be the biggest fish in the river. Measuring about 3 meters long and 1.5 meters wide, they were delighted to capture a long-lived giant sturgeon. After close inspection of the rare specimen, the anglers let it go back to its habitat. Whale or monster? Appearance of decomposed bodies of huge animals is pretty common, but this one will make you scratch your head. This massive carcass was found floating in the murky waters of a pond in Indonesia. A thorough examination revealed the huge marine animal had already passed away before it washed ashore. It was suspected to be lost during the annual migration and struck this ill fate. Residents of the area gathered to witness the evacuation operation, after which authorities decided to display the remarkable mammal in a museum for educational purposes.
I know that had to smell horrible.
It's hard to feel pity for lethal predators, but after having a look at this crocodile with a motorbike tire stuck around its neck, you'll surely feel bad. This 4-meter-long croc was hit by a tragedy in Indonesia, and it stayed like this for a long time. Many locals tried to help, but failed.
With the help of 2 friends, he was able to saw through the tire and set it free.
Then, around 6 years later, the croc was set free when a man with expertise decided to come to the rescue. Everyone pitched in, and the poor animal was set free after years of being in pain.
Big cheers, and it's all for a crocodile.
No.
Swimming oddity. A very odd scene was captured in a pond when an unknown entity was captured swimming efficiently. It looked like something else was sitting on the creature catching a ride. After a lot of debate on the internet, it was confirmed that the strange being in the video was actually a cabera, sitting on a swimming alligator. It's common for these rodents to hail a ride on gators, and surprisingly, they let them. Fishing is no easy feat. Waiting for the fish to take the bait all day long can be exhausting, and sometimes this happens. This man just caught a fish, and as he was reeling it in, when a seal sneakily emerged out of the water and stole the fish he caught. The man was left baffled as his precious catch was gone right in front of his eyes. And the culprit simply swam away without care. Miracle River. The once barren deserts of Saudi Arabia are not so infertile anymore. A very unusual event unfolded when dry land suddenly sprouted very heavy water, just like a river miraculously formed out of nowhere. The phenomenon was considered a sign of the approaching end of the world, as it is believed that the end of the world will be very near when Saudi Arabia becomes green and flows with rivers. And that seems to be happening. What are your thoughts on this? Gigantic worm.
This is a giant lawnworm. They eat away at the roots of...
This cleaning team was called to a house in Glenmore Park when the client said that their lawn was losing its color, and while looking around, they found something very unusual. Stuck in the sewer pipe was a gigantic lawn worm that the man pulled out with his bare hands. Many people speculated about the reality of this clip. A lot of them believed that it was fake, but we'd like to know your opinion. Trap lizard.
My question is what that has to do with the grass losing its color or whatever he said the problem was that made him call that guy. What does that have to do with it?
This man was out on a fishing trip in a river when he discovered a very uncommon sight. While moving forward, he noticed some rustling in the bushes, and suddenly, a monitor lizard jumped into the water, but its mouth was trapped in a hook. How it ended up in the trap is the real question.
What do you mean how? They set those traps. They did that on purpose. That's how they be hanging those like chicken lines trying to catch gators and stuff like that, man.
But luckily, before this reptile met a bitter end, the guy rescued it, providing another chance to live.
Yeah, too small.
Gator run-in. This guy's canoe trip went downhill when he felt something under his boat. He didn't think much of it at first, assuming it was a stone. But when he moved to sea, a huge alligator emerged from the murky water and left the man terrified. Its huge snout was just under the boat. Maybe it just popped out to say hello, or might it just wanted to taste the hump meat? Cyclops alligator.
And that is any size male. It could be a male 1 foot long. He will attack him.
A very strange alligator was captured swimming in the swamps of New Orleans. The gator had a very weird eye. It looked like something other than its eyeball was stuck in its eye socket. Moving oddly through the water, it was just shocking its onlookers with its peculiar looks.
Until one day he gets killed by a challenging male.
Either the eye was injured or something was really stuck in there. However, is still unknown. Snake on hand. Imagine going to the river for a good swim and coming face to face with a lethal reptile. Something like this happened when this boy was sitting on a river's edge and suddenly a sneaky snake appeared in the water. Scared for his life, the boy moved away and started recording, but the serpent seemed to be after the boy and slithered toward him. Fortunately, he jumped out and managed to run far away from the snake. Swimming behemoth. This man's boating trip turned into a story of a very bizarre discovery. The water around his boat was completely covered with foliage restricting its view, but a huge creature swimming away near his boat was very much visible. It looked like the animal was attempting to conceal itself in the water. As it reached the shore, its head came out of the water and turned out to be an elephant. Who knew these guys could swim? Feeding piranha. Have a look at this feeding frenzy of piranha fish near a shore. It looked like something was there under the boat, moving vigorously. When the man dropped some food into the water, it turned out to be an entire horde of fish. They splashed around to get a hold of it. It looked like they...
So that goes to show you should test the waters anytime before you stick your foot in there. They fools will tear you up.
were waiting to be fed, and as soon as it dropped, they jumped at it. This picture was captured a couple years back in North California when locals were in for quite the scare after a bunch of human limbs and other body parts were seen floating in a body of water. A truck driver called the police thinking he discovered a body. But during investigations, they found several body parts in the water and realized they weren't human remains, but parts of mannequins. With no cameras around the area, no one could find out how they ended up in the water. After people knew that they weren't human remains, they just poked fun at the strange discovery.